Well, alright, folks, we're back again this week for podcast number 9. Corporal Roddy's back with us again. Say hello.
Hello.
Hello, welcome back again, and we're joined by Mangala Solaris from Red vs. Blue.
Evening, guys.
So, we've got a big show tonight, obviously. Red vs. Blue have their big Ganked 100 coming up this weekend.
Yeah, that would we do.
Yep, so we're looking forward to that, and we'll be talking quite a bit about that. We'll be talking a bit about Red versus Blue tonight. We'll be talking a bit about some of the things that have been happening in Faction Warfare recently. I know there was a big capital fight Friday night that we can't really not talk about. Not with how badly Cal Mill got Raffle stumped. That'll keep the Galente militia happy hearing about that anyway. And we're also looking forward to talking about some of the logi training stuff that's going on in Cattle Mill recently as well, so that's always a good thing. So few things people have been asking about is getting things on YouTube. We are working on that right now. We're having problems accessing our YouTube account because we can't work out what the email address is because it's a year old. The other thing is, join our channel. Steamboat Willie's just posted it in chat there. AGI podcast in game. We're in game. Feel free to join us and chat to us there, and we'll in there all the time. And it's a good place for militias, RVB, whatever you are, to chat, pick up tips, and everyone's friendly enough in there for the most part, except maybe Roddy.
Fuck you.
Yeah, I love you too. And lastly, our website is down, we do know that, and our website, we are probably purchasing hosting either tonight or tomorrow, and we expect hopefully the website to be up again at the weekend, and the podcast will also be available for audio download there as well, in a nice small file format for whatever devices you want. So we're getting there. It's all that behind the scenes stuff that we need to get sorted because we had a wee breakdown in our technology there just before Christmas, unfortunately. So, on to the main bit. Mangala, for those who don't maybe know who you are, do you want to give us a wee introduction to yourself?
Yeah, sure, by all means. I'm Mangala Solaris. I fly with RVB. I'm currently a director in RVB. I've been with them now for around 4 years. Before that, I was your typical missioner, miner. I'd done a little bit of Faction Warfare on release, Go Squids. And while I've been in RVB, I've sort of taken on the mantle of being the guy behind the RVB Ganked Roams, which is an open to all weekly drunk roam, different themes every week. We just go out, try and find a few fights to get into, have a laugh, get some kills, rinse and repeat until we decide, right, it's too late, let's go to sleep. So all in all, I've been playing EVE for 6 years. I've done plenty of things, but I've found a home where I am. They basically let me do what I want, and I like that.
I believe you've also got a bit of a special job within EVE Online community as well.
Oh, yeah, the small thing of the CSM, yeah.
Yeah, that wee tiny,
non-significant thing. The 8 CSM, yeah, just a small thing.
Do you want to explain that to some of the viewers that don't know what that means?
The CSM is the Council of Stellar Management. It's elected by players council of representatives that work with CCP to discuss upcoming game changes, to address issues that you, the player base, may have with certain things that are undertaken, and generally just to watchdog some of the things that CCP do that may or may not affect EVE directly.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things I love about EVE is that we have that direct link, that we have a player-elected group of players who have that kind of consultation with CCP, and I think that's something that really sets the game and CCP apart, is that they're willing to listen to that and take things on board that you guys put forward on our behalf. Okay, I was expecting something for somebody else there. Anyway, but just silence. Yeah. So more people are joining in now. Keep spreading the link. The more people we get on, and the more tweets we get out about this, feel free to tweet it out as well. We have Twitter down below, and everything we have is down below except our website, because
Yeah, frankly, anyone that comes on Ganked should be watching this, so spread the word.
Oh, I'm looking forward to Ganked.
None of you are winning prizes.
Oh, I'm looking forward. I'm really looking forward to Ganked. It's just going to be. Someone's asking.
It's certainly going to be a change for us. I mean, we average 40 to 60 jumps a night. There's some days where we might do 80 to 100 jumps, but that's sort of when the roam finishes at 4 a.m. the next morning, and we've gone through half a dozen regions and not managed to die.
Yeah, whereas this is more like the flight of 1,000.
Yeah, this is like, yeah, exactly. It's definitely like the flight of 1,000 Rifters that Malona Sky put together over the past couple of years. In fact, Malona will be flying with us this weekend.
Oh,
so,
that's good.
if you've missed out on shooting Malona in the past, he'll be with us. So, Malona's primary, not me. No matter what the prize is, Malona's primary.
I'm using a different character, so you all no idea who I am, apart from the fact the name is virtually identical. I believe actually Caldari Militia are forming a fleet to take out to it as well, so
Yeah, I was speaking to a couple of guys the past few days. One of them's an ex-RVB team leader who set up his own corp in Caldari Militia at the beginning of the year, and he's going to get a bunch of the militia over as well.
Oh, who? Yeah, I think that might have been
Samuel Vokan in Green Associate.
I think that might be who sent out the mail, yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of ex-RVBers who've joined his corp with him.
Yeah, I mean, that's... Well, I guess we can go straight into that. I mean, one of the things, because Roddy and I handle recruitment, and Roddy can testify to this, is we see quite often RVB players moving into faction warfare is often the next level.
Yeah.
No, that's definite. That is definitely a case. I mean, we have... It's a small section on our forums, just a burgeoning one for post-RVB careers, and there's a few threads in there from, either players that are interested in faction warfare or people that have done it and then have come back, just putting their thoughts out there, and it's all mostly positive. I mean, the usual downsides to faction warfare are stabs, are the farmers, are, people like that, but overall, it's a positive view that RVBers have of faction warfare. It is a great place to go. You still have, this level of PvP with frigates and cruisers, destroyers that's really affordable. And, they can make the LP, and if they cash it in right, they can replace all of that, and then if they want to come back to RVB, then brilliant. If not, at least we've given them a solid grounding and moved them on to you guys who teach them other aspects of PvP, but still within their comfort zone.
Yeah, because that's one thing I like about faction warfare, and I hold my hands up and say I detested to start with. I spent the first 5 months hating faction warfare, but it's the small ships. It's so fun and it's so easy to learn and make the mistakes in. But you just as you're saying about the cookie stabbers, it's one of my gripes about faction warfare, and something that it's one of those things, people making money without doing anything, so to speak. Even if they are contributing to the Warzone in some way, they're not really doing much. I think it's RizJax possibly on Twitter, I can't look him up exactly, has been complaining the last week quite heavily about it on Twitter.
Yeah, I follow quite a few people who are in faction warfare or prey around the edges, depending on their playstyle, and that's been the past couple of weeks some serious warp core stab hatred, and I can kind of understand it. The amount of people that'll try and warp smart bomb battleships on my roams, and then it turns out they're stab fit. No, it's like, right, okay, well, fine, fuck you guys.
there's
hate stabs.
There's a thing I've seen and I've noticed with interceptor pilots is that they just sneak a sneaky warp core stab in their low. And my puppy has just joined me here. Hi, Marty.
Hey.
So the interceptor pilots are sticking warp core stabs in, and I think with the changes to interceptors, it's quite cool just seeing that the pilots have taken this thing that everybody hates and they're turning it into something that's a really nice tactical advantage for them. Because really with an interceptor, it's the long point that holds you down, and if you can get away from it and just be like, then you're sorted. It's nice to see
Yeah.
that, but I agree with a lot of people. The cookie plexers are annoying, but there's nothing we can do about it. Unless CCP changes how faction warfare works quite drastically, and I don't really see that happening.
Yeah, have Plexes disable warp core stabs.
Oh, that'd be nice. That'd be very
Have
nice.
Plexes disable cloaks.
Yes and no.
Yeah, well, you fuck over more than one person, so we may as well just fuck over as many people
That's
as we
true.
can.
I mean, because I've seen I think cloaky firetails is something I've seen, and they just decloak alpha frigate off that's sitting at 0 that would never have a chance. If it was moving, the firetail would never have hit it, but it just decloaks and fires, and you're like, well, crap. This is a tactic I've seen.
Cloaky Firetail, just, it makes me shudder. I love the Firetail. I absolutely love that hull. But the idea of fitting a cloak to it, just no.
Or just because I see him in chat there and because he pulled it on me, Mr. Cheese's crust, your cloaky bloody Tristan fleet with your Incursus bait. I know what you're doing. I'm calling you out on it. I haven't seen it since, mind you, but I think hopefully a few other people get caught with it as well, because the cookie Tristan one scared the life out of me. But their cloaks have their use, warp core stabs have their use, but I think there's a lot of people coming to faction warfare and they make money for nothing.
Well, how about just awarding LP for kills?
Well, I mean that's
just
something
do plain ISK for the missions.
Well,
and then the plexes, they obviously have to find a new way around the plexes, but
well, I mean what we talked
just
about.
LP for kills.
I think what I'd like to see is more LP for kills, to make PvP worth it, because the LP that you get from kills is often, when you share it between a fleet, you're getting like 10 LP, and it becomes that annoying.
That would make sense then.
The annoying spam message in the top left-hand corner every time you get a kill. You just get this, "Congratulations, you've killed someone. Here's 10 LP." You're like, well, thanks, maybe. I mean, unless you're killing a dreadnought, you're not going to get very much.
Yeah, that sounds like it would be a definite incentive to actually do more than just cloaky stab farm.
I would hope so. I mean,
everyone gets more PvP out of it. There's more people in space, so when I roll through, I might actually find people and don't have to come back at stupid o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that's one of the nice RVP is that your enemy isn't, where they are kind of thing. Because
we know they're basically next door, and just jump through a gate and boom, they're there.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously with faction warfare, you've got your I mean, any and EHA right but next door to each other, but the thing we found, especially with J4LP or with Misleads back and forth, for those who don't know the corp tags, with them getting solved, they're just AWACSing Caldari militia left, right and centre, and while technically it's not an AWACS, they are purple to us. And so it's kind of one of those things where, well, guys, you're purple to us. If the only way you can get kills is to go after Caldari militia, who are often bad. Sorry, Calmel, I know I am one of you. Where it can be bad enough sometimes as it is, without you tricking us using the purple thing. And it's cheap. It's cheap.
It is. Actually, today I dealt with a situation where fighting a neutral pirate, but he had a militia member repping him.
Yes,
so I guess that was like his alt or something.
It's me something, isn't it?
Yeah, me D something. I can't remember. I can find his name. But
that's pretty shitty.
Yeah, he's got 2 MR militia guys following him about in remote repair ships. So it's just, and he's flying around pirate frigates and stuff. And you're just like, wow. So you see, you see a pirate and local and 2 friendly MR militia. You're like, oh, cool, some MR militia. They were just over here to get some kills. Ah, no, the remote repping the pirate. Which is
just kill them, blow the consequences.
Yeah, it's a bit crappy, but yeah. I mean, there's not much else to say about that.
Yeah.
Although now you've said it out loud, we'll start seeing some random Blue Republic guy will now start rolling around with 2 Red Fed guys repping him or something. They'll be like, oh god.
The idea is out there now.
Yeah,
pretty
it's done. That is it. You know, you've put it out there.
I like to hope you guys have a bit more e-honors and brave newbies now. Alright, come on, those guys are
A little bit more.
a little bit more, but possibly not much.
And what honor we don't have, we'll just legislate for.
Yeah. So, I mean, one thing that's always got me curious is, I don't know if you can answer it for us, but who came up with the idea of Brave or Red versus Blue? Because I mean, like, you've EVE University who do all.
Oh, I've been around long enough to give you the answer for this both times. Basically,
good.
I don't know if if you've been playing long enough, but there was a forum called Scrap Heap Challenge.
Yes, I've heard of it.
Started way back when, and there was a bunch of regular posters on there. You had Joe Appleby, Plivo Keys. Hang on, I'm trying to remember the guy. Tron. It should have been easy to remember that one of all things. But back in 2008, they had the idea. This was just before Faction Warfare launched. Of a couple of corps that would just be at war with each other, and it would be a bit of a riot, and just see how it went. So they set up the original Blue and the original Red, both with a non-ironic full stop after the names. Totally non-ironic. And that lasted until just before Faction Warfare came out in 2008. But leadership inactivity and constant changing of the rules, moving of the location, just really killed it off. But then, just over a year later, Plave hit Scrap Heap again and was like, hey guys, I want to try RVB again. I'm going to give it a serious go. So they set up the corps in September 2009 and basically laid down a few basic rules, which have since been added to over the years as we've identified things that don't quite make it the enjoyable experience that we want for everyone, and the rest is history. I mean, in the first month they were topping the kill boards. Within the first year, 50,000 kills. 4 years later, we passed 500,000 kills just between Red and Blue, not counting the rest of EVE. I think we're pushing 600,000 including the rest of EVE now, in just over 4 years.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
And I've been involved with RVBs on alts at the start of both of them. It's only in July 2010 when I got back from traveling overseas. I was at loose end with Mangala, and I thought, yeah, I'll join. And by then, my alt was already a director at that point, so it just made it natural to go from one character to the other.
Yeah, it's always with multiple characters. It's pretty easy enough just to get things transferred onto your main if you're maybe start something on the side as a alt. That's actually kind of what happened to me, except the other way. I started this on my alt, and all I wanted to do was orbital bombard, and now it's my main. Yeah. I still haven't.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of alts, but I come and go from them. I get them to a place where I want them to do X, and once they can do it, leave them for a bit until I get bored, and then it's like, right, okay, next alt, and that'll do something else, and then I'll bounce back to the one that could do X and think, right, I want you to do this now. And I'll train them on and off, but I never, I never move away from Mang. Mang is my main all-rounder. Been playing the character for 7 years. I wouldn't do anything else.
Yeah, no, that's yeah, because I should add, actually, I've never actually managed to do an orbital bombardment yet, despite me coming to fight some more before I managed to completely avoid it. Even with the new kill meal changes, which are, by the way, are actually a really good source of LP. I don't know if anyone's noticed that yet, but I've heard people who
Wait, so orbital bombardments will give you loads of LP for blowing up a bunch of idiotic console players?
Yeah.
You heard me, CPM.
Yeah, Dust
Right,
Bunnies.
that's
We love you,
awesome.
Dust Bunnies.
May have found a reason to just join it with an alt and just do orbital bombardments all day long.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't CCP do that? Didn't they make a orbital bombardment tune just to do orbital bombardments?
Yeah, no, well,
that?
one of the CCP devs actually has a faction, or a I'll get there eventually, a Galente Militia faction warfare character that just does orbital bombardments.
Nice.
And he tweeted it out by accident, and I may or may not have drawn attention to it. Yeah, why not? A CCP
Yeah,
kill
of
is a
course.
CCP kill. But it was a nice and welcome change to be getting kill mails for the Dust Bunny, because it's nice to see that we've actually hit something rather than, well, now what?
Yeah, I do think that was pretty impressive when they brought the kill mails in for those. That was like, yeah, that's gonna feel good.
Yeah. So one other thing, I'm trying to think what else to ask. I mean, is there anything else you want to say about red versus blue? Or anything Roddy wants to ask,
Apart
of course,
from
as
that,
well.
hasn't been said. I mean, obviously, I'll happily take questions. I can, answer pretty much most anything about RVB. If anyone wants more details on Ganked 100, again, ask questions. But I am not going to tell anyone where it's happening. Getting this out there now.
I'll find out after, because I have to move my
No.
capital in. What?
No, you'll move your capital to where all the other capital pilots are moving their capital. Only my capital knows where the system is.
You're cheeky. That's cheeky. That's not fair.
I'm really good at this. Like I say, seriously, the past 5 days now, I think I've done 300 jumps trying to avoid Caldari Lowsec, because if I go near my carrier, I'll want to sit in it.
So
And then people will locate me, and it'll be like, right, that's it. Fuck. So, it's just keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Turning into that bloody fish off Finding Nemo.
Oh yeah, just keep moving.
Yeah,
that one.
Seriously, I'm turning into that.
Well, here's a question I have for you, right? With faction warfare being because you've got your militias and stuff like that, and it's so easy to make money in it. Why do you think so many new players who want to try PvP will gravitate more towards like some brave newbies or red versus blue rather than faction warfare?
I think that is mostly based on the information that's out there. I mean, I've started to see more and more people advising newbies that when they are asking, oh, how do I get into PvP? They are advising them that faction warfare is great, you can make money, but for the longest time, people would just say, right, go to RVB, it's cheap PvP, it's in high sec, you don't have to worry about this, you don't have to worry about that. And then obviously BNI came along, and they're really, really great for newbies. That they give them a totally different look at PvP and EVE straight from the off as well, and they have some really helpful people on board. But yeah, like I say, I think with the faction warfare not being as favoured by newbies as BNI and RBB is, it's just down to the people that were doing the pushing, people that were directing them there. I mean, RVB and BNI pretty much both have open door policies, well, near enough in BNI's case. And faction warfare, in a lot of cases, I take it, you ask for APIs, you do proper checks. There is corps out there that have all these procedures. And a lot of newbies, they don't want to do that. They just want to basically, get into a corp, get a ship, go shoot something. That they don't want to have to go through any hoops as much as they can, especially coming out of the tutorials. So many people today just want to avoid them if they can, and they want to avoid anything that might take them extra time between what they really want to do.
Yeah.
The one downside to RVB is it is an ISK sync, and explaining that to new players has become second nature to so many of us in our public channel. When we get like 2 or 3 day old players, is like, don't do this until you've got a few ships, but then half of them now, they turn around, oh, we plexed. I worked in it. I can work an extra hour at work or something. I can plex. So yeah, fine.
I mean, it's. I think I've got to say as well, for faction warfare, as you talk about the API checks and stuff, I'm like, we do them. I do them. I've done 3 in the last 2 days, and it's full account API checks that we ask for. Because, quite frankly, you're a bunch of spying sods, a lot of yous. To all you folks out there, you're a bunch of spies.
Are you new?
No, not quite, not quite. So we do the API checks, but the other side about it is, if you're joint state protectors or one of them, why you don't have to, you just join up to them through the militia tab.
Yeah, you could just join the militia.
You're not going to get on most of our fleets. You're going to get ignored. You're going to get LP stolen off you by the major alliances. And while Templates, I know, is very, very, for the most part, because there are ones who will steal LP, Templates are very good, I know, at getting in there, and if it's a someone's already in there, we move on to the next one. Or we'll invite them to fleet and stuff like that, and so we do that, and I know the Galente militia do it as well, if they do it as well, and there is an etiquette against with most of the alliances not to do that, but a lot of the individual corporations that are out there who aren't attached to one of these, the big faction warfare names, the big faction warfare names can't afford to be known as LP thieves. I mean, if someone turns around tomorrow and starts accusing Tempest pilots of constantly stealing LP of them, and has fraps footage of pilot after pilot after pilot stealing LP, it's going to look really, really bad on us, and that's not something we can afford when we need new players constantly.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I guess RVB, like Faction Warfare Corps, will have a really high turnover of players. Because...
Oh yeah, as I said in our spotlight, I think since we started we've had 40,000 pilots come through our doors, if not considerably more. That was only me rough guessing based on information I had to hand, and obviously extrapolating from the number of apps that we get as well. And it was just like, yeah, right, our turnover is phenomenally high. I mean, some weeks we can go through 200, 300 apps spread over both corps, but you can have as many of that, you can have the same number pretty much leaving every week as well and moving on, or biomassing their characters or whatever.
Yeah,
I guess... actually, no, thinking about it, I've had less Doomheim mails over the past 3 months than I did in the 3 months prior to that.
That's
always a good thing.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, and you say you could burn through a lot of ISK as well. I mean, of course, you guys have the recent changes in Rubicon have been fantastic for Red versus Blue.
Oh, yeah. Our Poco Empire is an amazing thing. It really has as well. I mean, obviously, we live in the Forge, so the majority of our planets are there. You're talking like one of the busiest high-sec regions. We've got some really lucrative planets as part of the RBB Customs Authority, which is our little thing with Goonswarm. They took a few planets, we took a few, and we just got some really good publicity out of it. Some gorgeous little bees dressed in the RBB colours. They look great.
Yeah, I seen them.
But
in the article.
that has made us. That's made us quite some ISK, so we've managed to set up our own LP store for people who want to FC in RVB. You FC for an hour, get a bunch of kills in that period, and we'll give you some LP, and you can save up the LP and get packs of ships. You can get faction battleships, faction modules, and things like that. That's where the majority of that money goes. But we also run fitted frig programs. So, for example, if you're in the middle of a big fight in one of our systems and you need to reship quickly, open your corp contracts, there'll be a Meta Zero fitted frigate, well, usually a pack of 5 of them on contracts for a pretty damn good price. It's literally Jita plus maybe 0.5%, so that we do make a tiny bit from it. You buy a bunch of those, jump in one, off you go. You're straight in the fight within seconds. You don't have to dock up, maybe refit another ship, or think, right, okay, yeah, I'm out of this module. You can just get in them and go, and it's just little things like that. We have enough programs with enough ships coming in that nobody should ever be stuck for a ship at any stage in RVB.
One word the Galente militia will all recognise, as well the Caldari militia: Derptron. They'll all know exactly what I'm talking about. They reckon there's several thousand of the things stored up. Basically, a cheap Atron's like worth 1.1, 1.2 mil or something like that, and the Galente can just wheel them, fleets of them out constantly and reship them. It's ridiculous.
Oh, we've got a POS in, we've got a POS in one of our systems at the moment that has around 48,000 frigates sat in it that we can't use anymore.
Okay, that's a bit awkward.
Yeah, we basically built 100,000 ships, 100,000 frigates for an FFA for our 4th birthday last year. I have to remember we're in 2014 now. Back in 2013 was our 4th birthday, so we were doing mass FFA. We built 100,000 frigates, put them in a POS, and we just had a dude ejecting a bunch of them from different SMAs, and we were just working our way through them. We got to 52,000 through them, and then Rubicon hit, and CCP fucked us in the ass by changing how SMAs work. You can no longer mass eject from SMAs. So we're literally screwed because we're not going to have a guy sitting there hitting eject on every ship one at a time. Or transferring, 6 to an orca, then ejecting 6 at a time from an orca. Because that would drive somebody insane.
I mean, I guess
So
the only thing you
we've
can
got
do
48,000 ships sat doing nothing.
I guess the only thing you can do is take them into a hangar and strip them and repackage them.
Yeah.
Which is going to cost you rigs
know,
if there's
suddenly-
rigs in them.
Yeah. Or, put the posses in the hold. I think the idea at one stage was put the POS corps in the alliances and give people access that way, but it's still a long-winded way to go around it.
But that's a bit of a nightmare. I've worked out why Roddy's been so quiet. Do you want to tell everyone why you've been so quiet, Roddy?
Killing Galmil.
He's been out fighting Jesus Christ.
You are honored of 1v1.
I'm waiting for the kill mail to come up so I can put it up in the stream, and we'll keep it a secret.
It's in the AGI podcast.
I know it's been posted in the AGI podcast chat channel, but I'm waiting for it to pop up now on our kill board so I can stick it up for everybody to see.
Very well.
I'm not tell you who won just yet, but no, I mean whenever we got the whenever the Pokos came out, we grabbed a couple, but oh yeah, that's someone else just said blow up the ship maintenance, right? They thinks they drop.
Don't tempt me.
Don't tempt
me. Just because I want to see if the SMA kill mails would break Eve.
Oh, that'd be brilliant. Nope.
Yeah,
brilliant.
That's the only
but,
reason to do it. See if they would break Eve, but then at the same time, break Eve. I go to Iceland next week, and the devs would stab me. Not really worth it.
Knowing that lot after seeing the Plex for Good live stream, they would literally stab you after seeing that.
Oh yeah.
Thing.
Yeah, I have no doubt physical harm would come to me after that.
Oh, poor guy getting his chest waxed. That just looked brutal.
It would have been worse if he actually had hair on his chest. I have more hair on my little toes than he had on his chest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's
such a man-child.
Yeah, it could have been worse, but even so. But no, that was a good stream. So it's 5 to something, wherever you are. So I want to go on to Ganked 100 and talk a bit about the Ganked events, because that's one of the big things we want to talk about tonight. Especially because I'm going to whelp a carrier in it. Yay!
Good man.
Yay! I've never lost a capital. I guess it's time to start. Unless, of course, the capitals win. In
but
which
I've only had a capital for like a week, so
I've had this carrier for 14 months, 15 months now.
It really needs to die then.
It really does, and I'm needing the insurance money, so yeah, it happens. I'll just write it off as a corporate loss and take it out the corp wallet.
That's
you didn't hear that,
way.
Roddy?
Everyone else did.
Everyone else in the stream did. Yeah. So Ganked 100. Roddy, have you heard anything about Ganked 100 yet? Make you pay attention here.
Heard... I'm here. I'm sorry, but no, I haven't heard a lot about it. But I'm one of those like EVE players that just kind of log in and like, hey, we're doing this, and I just jump aboard.
Yes, you're gonna try and get down for it.
I heard people existed, but I didn't actually believe it.
Yeah,
Pleased to meet you.
People... Yeah. Oh shit. Suspect gang. I'm fucked. All right, moving on.
Say goodbye to your Thrasher. So yeah, Ganked 100's happening Saturday?
Yes,
I should
on
probably
Saturday.
know this. What time is Saturday?
We're kicking off our festivities around 2000 UTC. So, 8 o'clock for people who live in civilized land of England.
Yay, I'm Northern Ireland, but I'm close enough. I'm still UK. It's
I said England, I wasn't counting the bloody provinces.
Yeah, but we're better than England.
Oh, well, I won't go that far. It could be worse than
yeah.
could be Scots.
USA.
Don't let Scott
jumped
Manley
up
hear
little
you starting that.
upstart teenage colony.
Scott Manley's a lot more followers than us, and while I'm sure he's not watching, you never know. Word could get back.
Oh, don't worry. I've started writing for Crossing Zebras. No doubt if Sandafina hears this, I'll get a kicking in a Skype channel.
Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, so 8 o'clock's a good time, and I think that's pretty good for getting most of the you're getting told the F off in the podcast channel. Lovely. I keep losing my train of thought. Yes. Anyway, that's a good time. It's a really good time because it allows most of the UK players to get on for, I mean, that's easy 6 hours ahead of me, or 5 or 6 hours I can stay on
and
for.
Given, our experience with Ganked, that's roughly when we go out. If we don't go out at 2000, we go out at 2100. It's rare we go out earlier, maybe on bank holidays or if CCP are doing a roam or something. But, it's my experience. We actually get an awful lot of time zone representation from every major time zone in EVE, including the bloody Dirty Crims. Even they will show up for events at that time of day. So we do get a fair Aussie contingent. We get a bunch of the Yanks. We get people from the Far East all over joining at that sort of time. It is the perfect time for us.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the things my son time was like, oh, I could go to that, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna carry. Let's use it. I was hoping to be one of the Archons that I've sitting there rather than the Chimera, but sure, whatever.
I'm Caldari. I started Caldari. My first battleship was a Rogue, and I thought, right, okay, if I'm gonna do this, I've got to go Chimera. I've got to be a roleplay faggot a tiny little bit. So yeah, Caldari shields. Just went that way.
Well, it's the entire of Caldari militia happy now. They're now all officially your friends. But I mean, so. Chimera was actually, I started playing the game, I was looking at what I wanted to do. I picked Caldari because missiles, or just missiles, and I was thinking, you know what, I want a Chimera. It just looks amazing, and that was the whole reason for wanting Chimera, was just, it looks amazing.
I'm not sure about Chimeras looking amazing. They're a bit weird. Now the Wyvern, that has a good look to it. But the Chimera is just a little odd.
No, the Wyvern is just wrong.
No, it looks cool.
Sorry, nope, not happening. We could be in this quite quickly here. I'm joking. But no, so Ganked. How did Ganked kind of start? What was the reason for starting these big events?
Back when Scrap Heap existed, a lot of RBB's routes and a lot of RBB's events routes have, are based in Scrap Heap, and following that Fail Heap, they used to have their Gank Night roams. There was a rather spectacular occasion back in 2011 where the Fail Heap Gank Night, the FC at the time, basically walked the whole fleet into the Terminus stream when that still existed in Varasi, over in Lone Trek High Sec. And that basically put paid to those, because following that, he immediately took another roam out right away and got them bombed on the first jump into Nullsec. It was like, yeah, okay. So they've ended. Then an RVB director at the time was like, hey, we should do those. We'd just come out of 18.9 with some decent publicity. We were riding the back of a lot of community interest. And he thought, yeah, it's a way to keep our profile out there. So we arranged the first one, took a bunch of Rifters out, killed some Shinies. Well, the fleet at the time did. Then I came home from work, took a second fleet out, killed a bunch more Shinies, and somehow got ganked, landed in my lap. Originally it was a monthly roam, then it went to fortnightly, then it turned into a weekly roam, and we haven't looked back ever since. And we hit our 100th numbered event on Saturday. It's really our 110th, but some of them haven't been numbered, so they don't count. They've been like special things like shooting CCP or the Nightmare in Tama event over Halloween, that sort of idea. And yeah, reaching our 100th, we thought, after roaming around pretty much every region in EVE, we're going to make EVE come to us. So we've got 45 to 50 capital pilots lined up, several hundred RVBers, people who fly with Ganked regularly, other parties like Flying Dangerous, members of the Kaldari militia are all attending either on our side or to shoot us or to shoot everyone. I think Brave Newbies are going to show up in
Of course they are.
some numbers. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Shadow Cartel, Snuff, Suddenly, all the big low-sec powerhouses are going to be showing up. And Balex. I can't not miss mentioning Balex because Loco will never forgive me otherwise.
Oh, we got it.
Maybe maybe some of the large nullsec groups may show up as well. So
I wonder if Sir Squeeble's going to bring a group around, just because I know he was watching anyway.
He should do. If he doesn't, he'll be flying with us.
Just as long as he doesn't use capitals this time.
Yeah.
We all seen that. But yeah, he's going to hate me for that next week.
So it's going to be a really interesting event, and we've got a whole stack of prizes up for grabs too. We've got something in the region of 40 to 45 billion ISKs worth of prizes. There's a whole bunch been sponsored by Summer Blink, who've been sponsoring our roams since about the 24th, 25th roam now. Been sponsoring us for just over a year and a half. And then RBB has donated 3 billion ISK. And I put a bunch of prizes together out of that. I donated a load of things. Various Ganked attendees have donated prizes from capitals to collections of faction frigates and, just a whole array of different prizes. And I'm trying to promote that the people showing up should show up in battleship, battlecruiser, or ideally cruiser and frigates. I've weighted the prizes more for people. The smaller you show up, the better chance you are going to have of winning a prize, because there's more prizes for the smaller ships.
Well, apparently the Kaldari militia effort is going to be a big Tal War fleet, so they're trying to get as many Tal Wars together, which is going to be awesome, because we know what those Tal War fleets are like. They just skirt around the edge, whoring and killing everything. So is it going to be RVB versus everybody who turns up, or is it going to be like the capitals?
Basically, it's going to be the RVB Ganked fleet will consist of the capitals. Depending on the numbers we get, we may end up with Subcap assisting us in our fleet, plus another fleet or two. We're taking anyone who wants to defend is more than welcome to. There's a whole bunch of defender-specific prizes as well anyway, so it's even more chance of prizes if people want to defend. And the way it's looking at the moment, I may end up FCing all the defense fleets at the same time as the cap fleets, which is going to be interesting.
I'm sure there's enough FCs that'll be happy enough to give you a wee hand with that. I'm not volunteering, but you never know.
No, you just volunteered. Everyone heard you. X up anywhere if you heard him volunteer.
Damn it. I said I went up. But no, yeah, I'll happy enough give a hand if need be for something. I'll be there in the Chimera. My faction warfare character will be bopping around in a cloaky heron. And he's got Fleet Command 3, so he's not a complete scrub. But the Chimera pilot will be there, and I'll be streaming from the Chimera pilot just because another stream for it,
Yeah, of course. But yeah, it's just a great way to cap our centenary. Do something different. The original idea was that, we'd get a few capitals and we'd just randomly hot drop different fights as we were roaming around. But then, you look at it and you start thinking, well, we're going to have to maybe keep the fleet waiting while we move Sinos around and keep the capitals in range and so on and so on. And then obviously if we went deep into null, there might be places we couldn't drop them, and it's just like, okay, that's hassle and effort, and I'm really lazy. Fuck it. Let's just invite all of Eve to come shoot us in one place. We know they will, so. And that's how it ended up becoming what it was. It went from, Rome to, hey, we're just set up in one system. And I'm really, really looking forward to it. It's completely bricking it as well, but I'm really looking forward to it happening. Keep complaining that it's not Saturday yet.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. It's certainly going to brighten up my weekend anyway. Because I have lots of stuff to be doing at the moment. And so I'm really looking forward to having that one at the end of it all. Trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, go on, Roddy.
Some of us have to work on the weekend, so there better be a lot of good video content out there for us to enjoy after the fact.
Well, time to clean out the external hard drive.
Yeah, no doubt there'll be footage of me having a mental breakdown live on comms in front of like as many people can squeeze into the system as possible. Oh, and I think Eve Uni are coming up as well. We have quite a few Eve Uni players that fly with Gank. Since Eve Uni put in their Fly with Friends program, a lot of their pilots, are now okay to fly with various open roams across Eve and various other groups that do roamy type things like the Agony classes and such. And we've started getting more Eve Uni pilots flying along with us. So I think they're going to be showing up in Force as well.
Oh, that's good to see, because I know Eve Uni, we were sort of talking with Eve Uni about doing a faction warfare class for them, because one of our guys, one of our active guys in our corps was Eve Uni, and he still kind of helps out there, and in between helping out there in Bomber's Bar, he keeps messing up our kill board with these random kills in the middle of nowhere. You're like, sir, why were you there? Oh, right, okay. By the way, that's the battle from Roddy and Jesus Crust. Sorry, has to be shown, unfortunately.
It was a good fight. It was very close. Very close.
I mean,
Nice.
for anyone not familiar with faction warfare, this is the kind of thing we fly. This is the thing, right? You were in your shield thrasher, weren't you?
I was, yes.
And yeah, obviously Jesus is in the armor one, and this is really common. Calamari Militia seems to fly shield thrashers most of the time, or at least Armor Purgatorium does, because we're usually the ones flying them. And Gal Mil tends to fly the 400mm plate ones, and it's really interesting because it's one of those things that could go either way really, really quickly, and I always love those fights. So
Yeah.
it's nice to see the host having a little shit about during the podcast, being useful out there in the community.
Making an impact, blowing up ships, I do what I can.
I've no doubt. So yeah, that's pretty much Ganked 100, I guess, then.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be great.
3 more days and it's going to be insane.
Yeah,
Truly and utterly insane.
Caldari Militia, pay attention. There is a fleet going up for us. Galenti Militia, other militias, pay attention. I'm pretty sure people will be taking a fleet. Gavin Goodrich, wondering how many tabs do I have. I closed half of my tabs before this stream. There is still about 12 open. So yeah, quite a lot.
I mean, I even have a prize that's militia pilot focused. It's like the militia pilot who gets on the highest number of kill mails using a frigate this weekend wins themselves 50 firetails courtesy of me. And I love my firetails. I don't give them away very often.
That's
Used
very
to
nice.
all the time, but they're mine, and I like giving them away. So yeah, they'll win 50 firetail hulls if they get the most kill mails in a frigate. Only for militia pilots is that prize.
Yeah. So I want to go into some of the faction warfare highlights for this last week, because there have been some pretty epic battles and whatnot. Start posting questions in the chat if you have any questions for Mangala about anything. Obviously, if it's stuff like CSME stuff, we can throw into, but if obviously there's not going to be some of that can't be answered. How have you found being on CSM8 actually? Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, the past 9 months have been a pretty damn enjoyable experience. It's been really eye-opening. You go from having a player perspective and how you think things are done to having a much more inside of you, and yeah, massively eye-opening. It's certainly something I'm glad that I have done. I just would never have thought when they first announced that the CSM was a thing that a few years later I'd be successfully running for a position on it, and it's just like, yeah, really intense.
Nah, that's good. I mean, we're talking. I mean, I know there's a few people that are talking about trying to get a faction warfare person on. And I don't think anyone particularly cares who, just as long as it's someone who's interested in faction warfare, just to give us a bit of loving and push our cause to get things shaken up for the better down here.
You said this, more LP for kills. switch off stabs in plexes. There you go. You know, so if I decide I'm going to run again and say I'll lobby for those, will you faction warfare guys vote for me?
Yes.
We might do. We might do.
He has my vote.
We'll have to see then, won't we?
But I know there was talks of someone from Tempest maybe going in and stuff like that. So it's you know, they're thinking about it, and we'll see what happens. But I mean, as long as someone's fighting our corner, I mean, ideally I would like to see places gone, because I hate having to capture systems that way. But at the same time, we don't want the structure grind, you know. It's one of those things you can't win. You either have to sit and orbit a button, or you have to sit and fire at structures. So it's
yeah. So you're in a lose-lose there, really.
Really. So I mean, it's it might just be something completely new that has to be come up with for it. And you know, if that's what it is, that's what it is. And I think we'll probably be scratching at the door again. So you know, but I guess we'll see. And I know certainly, at the very least, more LP for kills would definitely encourage people to get out in PvP more, but especially solo PvPers, because I find when I'm out, I have to stop, run a plex or two to pay for my ship, and then that way I don't mind if I lose it, because I've paid for my ship in LP.
Yeah, but still, when you're out there to actually PvP and you have to do that, that's yeah. I definitely see a case for increasing the LP from kills.
Yeah.
You know, by a decent order of magnitude as well.
Yeah. So one of the highlights I want to talk on, and I should have got the kill board stats for this, was I think it was last Friday night. Caldera Militia had a bit of an oopsie, and Spam are not going to appreciate me bringing this up. But what the hell? We had 2 chimeras on the on a Poco, and we were repping up, and that was grand. We managed to get it high enough so that when we went off for the fight, it regened itself, and so we got the chimeras out safely, and that was fine. We worked out to get to meet a Galente fleet that was coming in, and we knew the Galente fleet was coming. We knew we could beat it. Didn't, however, expect the Scum fleet, or the second Galente fleet, or the 12 dreadnoughts. What? I mean, it was, yeah. So we had this Caldari fleet, and if some of the Tempest people there can find the kill board stats for that fight, that would be really appreciated. It should be obvious because our kill board's covered in stuff from it. In fact, I might be able to get it quite quickly, but talking and doing it at the same time would be difficult because my push to talk button's also does it back. But it was so bad, we got literally slaughtered. I was shooting, I think we got 5 kills out of it, and then the rest was shooting fish in the barrels or something. Like, we lost 2 Morrises and carrier. But the best bit about it was one of our carriers was neutral. And have a guess how that carrier got out of the fight alive. Bearing in mind there's 12 dreadnoughts on field and 2 or 3 big fleets sitting there with it. Have a wee guess there while I look
see it
for
on
this.
its overview. Wasn't seen on overviews.
No, better. Scum called a ceasefire in the carrier, saying it was one of their carriers. They thought it was one of their carriers.
Oh god.
And it jumped right out of the
That's
middle
beautiful.
of them. It was brilliant. It was so brilliant. Don't know how they did that. I don't know how that happened. It happened, and so the Archon just pop out the middle. It was brilliant. That's just one of those things that Eve provides. You know, it's sandbox at play right there.
Yeah, player stories, things like that are just phenomenal. You know, it's an absolute joy to play a game like this with those sort of stories being created just about every day.
I've got the kill.
I don't think there's any player anywhere that doesn't have their own, you know, memorable event at least once a week. Possibly those people who just mission and do nothing else, but I think even those maybe have their own little player stories, be it escaping from a ganker, doing this, doing that, whatever. Maybe a sad, lonely story, but it's still a story.
Yeah, it's and that's I guess why we love the game. You've got there, I think it's Smokey the Bear, was the Archon that we got out of there from the middle. I think we also managed to... There's a wee bit of crossover. The Marina in Iran from Monkeys with Guns, their Thanatos is on our side, but I think that's possibly due to smart bombing. You know, whoring on their kill meals just in case. But I mean, we killed... apparently we've killed 30. We killed 30 ships, but again, that could be due to the kill board screwing up, because I don't think it was that many. But we had about 12 billion ISK lost on our side, which was... Just scroll down this kill board here as well.
So that's just crazy. That is some major snowballing. And
Yeah,
not in
so
the
you can-
kinky porn sort of way, that's just like in the kinky avalanche sort of way.
Yeah, and you can see as we scroll down, there was a lot of battleships there. There's a lot of battle cruisers on both sides. I mean, one of the things that I noticed about that fight, and I'm not sure what Scum's plan was, but we went into that with 2 Agurs as Logi for our entire fleet. No, I know. Oh, I've just put the stream up on the stream. There we go. I know they had a plan to... The plan was to use the Archons to remote rep, and we had people out looking for the Galantic capitals and their pilots, but someone's posted in chat they were ready for us, which, you know, is quite obvious. We just missed them, and that was the long and short of it. We just completely missed their capitals, and it turned into a bit of a massacre from there on in. And I mean, the 2 Archons on field were not going to stand up against 11 Dreads, and the fact that the fleets we were fighting had their own small Logi and we had none, it was just shooting fish in a barrel from then on in.
Yeah, I can well imagine what that was like.
I can see Gavin posting, and don't worry Gavin, I can see you posting. I'm just, they had their caps in different system. Okay, yeah, I know we had our caps in different systems, and their caps were in different systems and stuff like that. We just didn't find it, so it was a bit derpy by the Caldari, but it happened, and it was a... Yeah, Disney's saying they had Guardians as well, which I think they had Guardians on the field, so it was bad. And yeah, of course, Scum were at temp blue with Scum for the fight, and they sat in the field. I bet they're going to be raging now they've heard about the carrier that jumped out the middle, but we're not going to complain much about that. Scroll up further too. Oh, it's Gavin. Of course, Gavin was FCing. We knew about the Scum fleet. It was me overestimating the treasure reps and our Scorps out of position. That was the other thing. We had a big ECM group, and I actually have to say I was on Gavin's side with that. I was hoping that our ECM would do their job and their logistics, and actually, we were right. The logistics did their job, or the ECM did their job in breaking up the Galmil logistics chain quite well, because until the Thanatos came on the field, their ships were just dying, and there was virtually no reps landing on them. You know, our DPS was cutting through them pretty well. So that tactic really did work, but once the triage reps got on, you can't jam a triage carrier no matter how much you want to, and triage reps against battleships. And at that point, of course, as you know yourself as an FC, fights start going on, DPS start splitting, and I have the fraps of the fight from my perspective. I haven't uploaded it because I'm not sure anyone wants to see it, but I might do. And I had a couple of targets locked up that were, let's just say, DPS going on them that shouldn't have been. But that's, I guess, just discipline and training and practice. So it's, you know, we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah,
I guess
that's just bads being bads. You will never stop them doing that.
Yeah.
I've tried. You can call one target at a time and literally call nothing else until that one target's dead. The next thing you lock up, you can guarantee is taking damage before you've even opened your mouth.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that fight was like Gavin just said. That fight was a snowball, and we didn't have a snowball's hell and chance of winning it. I mean, we got severely outnumbered, and you know. But I mean, the thing about it was one of the big fights that happened this week, and it might hurt to discuss, Gavin, but it's one of those big things that happened, and you know what? I think we've all learned something from it, and I think we know. It just goes to show how prepared faction warfare is now to use the big guns. I mean, you wouldn't have got that before. Calmil, Galmil, Amara as well, over Amara and Mimitar have proven as well over in their warzone that they're more than happy to deploy capitals. But one thing I've really liked and I've seen in this fight again is the use of these mobile sino jammers, and I think they're getting really good use in FCs, like Gavin, and I know I've seen quite a few Caldari Militia FCs using them. They're using them really well, and they're using them properly, and they're, as a capital pilot who's had his capital on the field inside one, it just feels so much safer.
I can believe it.
I mean, I can't
Regards those mobile jammers, if any of you guys, you know, are ever bored in militia on a Saturday evening, just a random Saturday evening, and I happen to be passing through, I never bring them out on a fleet, so happily drop caps on ganked. We won't mind. We're not going to block them in, so you can bring more caps to rescue them. You'll be fine, honest.
Oh, I know. I'm sure you've got enough caps on standby yourselves. I don't doubt
No,
it for a second.
oddly, no.
Well, we'll see.
Literally,
We'll see.
ganked goes out without cap support. You know, we just go out with what we've got, and we just blunt force trauma anything to the head.
Well, another fight I want to touch on then, moving on, something much smaller scale, is Templates have been doing logistics training, and something that's very important for most big alliances, as you know, is to have, a good logistic pilot backbone. I'm not talking about the jump freighter side. I'm talking, of course, about your Ospreys and your Gurs, and one of our guys have been really heading that up recently. And they had a fleet out a couple of nights ago, and they went up against an assault frigate fleet, and I think they come out of it with no losses on their side. And I've watched the video of it, and like, it was a really nice fleet to see, because the logistics, you know, just how logistics handle themselves, and some of these guys like haven't done logistics before, you know, and there's all of a sudden they're doing logistics at a really high, you know, at a respectable level, and I think it's something that's really important. And I like that. I mean, I'm sure RVB, you do logistics training as well.
We don't do it as much as we did. I mean, for day-to-day RVB, when the logistics cruisers, the Tech 1 logistics cruisers got rebalanced, so you know they were actually useful.
We've got a good fit for a burst for them.
We got people into those for a while, and then it sort of died off, and now logistics on field is more at the FC's discretion in day-to-day RVB, and most of them are like, nah, we just want to see explosions, and they just go at it that way. But for our actual purple stuff, when we, you know, form Voltron and go out and kill everyone else, we do tend to rock the Logi on a serious basis, and we've got some really great Logi pilots. I mean, Professor Cleo, who is, you know, one of our main Logi guys, is really on the ball with that stuff. He's great at getting people up to speed on it when they need stuff. We don't really do classes, but you know, the odd time people have hit our Pocos, we just basically say, okay, yeah, we're going to rep this Poco and teach people how to rep stuff while we're doing it. Pocos have been really useful for that.
I suppose that's one way to teach things, how to, you know, teach people how to rep it. But the best way is just to
most people. If we throw the purple blob at anyone, most people won't fight it. So Logis don't get that sort of live experience. If RBB goes to war with a bunch of Logis, and it's once in a blue moon that somebody does come back at us, you know, a Uni or BNI, for instance, larger entities that we may go to war with. That's the only times that people would get really tested in a battlefield situation, and it's just like, right, no. So what we did in the end was Ganked has started taking more and more Logi along with us when we go out on our public roams, and we've got some really good Logi pilots coming along with us. Some of them do incursions, some of them have just picked it up through Logiing on Ganked, and they're really something now. And again, it's all down to mostly Tech 1 Logi hulls that we get with us as well. Those things are amazing now.
Well, I think it's important that for anyone out there who's a corp director or something, just make sure your logistics pilots get a wee bit of training, a wee bit of practice, because there's one thing telling them how to do it, but actually doing it in a controlled environment. And what happened with the fleets are up a showing now, of course, is they started off repping each other and repping one or two people in the same corp who were shooting at each other. And then they formed a fleet and they went out and they had and they have a fight and they actually practice what they were trying, and they practice breaking enemy logi and focusing DPS for the DPS guys, and it sounds silly, but sometimes you just have to take people by the hand and go, look, you need to explain how the fleet fights actually work, because you have to remember, faction warfare, most people are flying around in their wee frigate, and their biggest fleet fight they get is like 4 people when someone blobs them some of the time, and then they join a corporation and you stick them in a fleet with a cruiser and they haven't got a clue. You're shouting primary such and such, secondary such and such, and they're going, right, what does that mean? And so I think in faction warfare, I know as a director it's something we get a bit lazy with and not explaining that stuff properly, but it's something that I know Caldari's picking up on, and it's good to see Caldari picking up on it and working with each other on it. I know Spam's been very good at getting intermilitia fleets going recently and helping each other out and supplying logistics ships for each other as well, because at the end of the day, logistics can win a fight, but they can lose a fight. But then again, so can your DPS squad. So but your DPS squad just have to press F1 at the right target and keep themselves at their optimal. Your logistics squad have a lot more, and anyone who can fly logistics can testify, logistics have a lot more brain power to put into what they're doing in a fleet. And Logi bros, you're all heroes, a lot of you. Same with our ECM bros. I'm just gonna let that fight keep on playing at the moment because I don't even know how long it's
that is really good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Tempest lost a single ship during that fight. I think they got 9. I think it was 9-0 or something.
Not bad at all.
And like I said, some of those guys have never flown an Augur properly in their life. They've never flown. There's some of the guys they might have done it during one of our training fleets previously, but that's one of their first proper fights in logistics. Yeah. So this is one of the things. I'm sure other people do it, but it was a good fight and it was fraps, so I thought I would put it up and talk about it as a Calmel beat you, but you might in a smaller fleet. We can do cruisers too, not just Calmel.
No, that really does look like a fun fight, especially.
Sorry, you cut out there.
Oh, sorry. That fight, really impressive. Looks like an amazing time for your guys. Especially those Logi pilots, that's some seriously great work on their part for people who are that new to it.
Yeah, someone's asking to stream Logis on kill meals make it so. Yeah, jeepers, how many kills I've lost out on flying Logi, but someone's asking, I've been asking, but does anyone have a video of the T3 gang we rocked like 3 days back? I know the fight you're talking about. I think there is Fraps footage for it, but I don't think it's been uploaded yet. I'll check, but I know the fight you're on about. There was a big fight, and Caldari militia was sitting there with like 3 or 4 pirate fleets, I think, looking at each other. And I think Calamel blew up one of the, I think it was Snuffbox or something, and they did pretty damn well out of it. So it's yeah, it was a nice fight. There's been a lot of nice fights this week, and I mean that's just a couple of them, I guess. But there've been many more, I'm sure, on both sides, and there've been. I mean, you can talk all day about the fights you have during the week, I guess. So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to go into our prizes. We do prizes every week, so we hand out 2 pirate frigates of any flavour. So crew or and I've forgotten the name of them all. Crew or Daredevil, Dramiel, Astero included, and other people like that. Or all those pirate faction frigates, and we'll hand out 2 of those to people we draw with. All. And it's not bad in our budget, I'd say that much. I had to grind the Asteros. The only requirement we have is that you're following the stream, okay? So you press follow in the stream, and we'll pull up the.
Make it 4, frigs. I've just sent you 200 million ISK.
Okay,
then. To the character I'm in convo with.
That's brilliant. So that is now 4 prizes for tonight, so thank you very, very, very much for that. So 4 prizes for tonight of any kind of pirate frigate. And I at least have a Market Alt and G to handle this stuff now, because my other one's miles away. So 4 pirate frigates of any type we're going with tonight, and we'll roll them out. But while we're doing that, questions, feel free to put in some questions and whatnot, and we'll get them asked and we'll answer them as we see them, hopefully. I'm looking up, I seen a couple and I'm trying to look up, and yeah, Jesus, you paid for your Thrasher loss last week. I'm watching you, sir. And let's see. Is there any questions?
I can win one of those, right?
How the hell
I
you
can win a pirate. Oh, I mean, I follow the channel. This is bullshit.
You'd be surprised how regularly one of our guests wins one of these.
Yeah.
There was a stage where
I've been on nearly every Ganktrome that's been sponsored by Summer Blink, and I'm yet to win a prize. Yeah, I'm the FC of most of them, but it's not the point.
Yeah, well, you know what it's like. So I'm gonna stick this up now on the screen, and you'll see yourselves. You'll see the infinite loop in the background. So, because there's obviously a wee bit of a delay on the stream, what we're going to do is we're going to attach a key to the stream and make sure you're following, and we'll roll a dice. It'll pop your name up. We'll give you about a minute, 2 minutes to reply. We'll type your name in this chat and we'll call it out quite a few times to make sure you hear it because of the delay. And what we'll do then is, once you've answered us and we've yada yada, I'll send you a Twitch message, and all you have to do then is reply to the Twitch message with your Eve character name, okay? And I'll convo you in game and we'll sort it out in game then, okay? Or I'll mail you in game if you're not online. And so it's pretty simple. All you have to do is follow, answer in chat, and we'll send you a message, alright? That's pretty handy, I think. And I've even got a fancy little app to do it, except for the fact the window capture hasn't worked. There we go, window capture's up. So, Roddy, if you could type in, so you're looking for Steamboat Willie, folks, typing in the message. If type in free ship, folks, free ship to get your free ship.
Come on, guys, you want your free stuff? Let's go. Only one way to get it. That's to type it in.
They are pretty terrible, aren't they? You know, you're giving away something for free.
Yeah.
But I found that with people in Eve, they're really sus about people offering free stuff. It's just like, what?
Yeah.
So we've got a question here. Have you guys told CCP?
Yes.
So you got your super
yes,
good.
I have my reinforcement requests in. I asked CCP if I had to do anything else, and they're like, nope, you've done those, we could see those. So it's like, yes, I've done my job, I've done what I had to. You know, keep free shipping up as you want free ships.
Yeah, I should reiterate, no spaces in the free ship. If you put a space in, the thing won't pick you up. It is really OCD about that.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah, I've noticed that. You need to make sure no spaces, so I think there's 1 or 2 people needed. There we go, I think that's everyone who put it in. So 16 so far, keep going. Free ship in chat to get your free ship.
Let's go, guys. 4 ships.
4 pirate frigates, thanks to Mangala.
Of your choice.
Of your choice? Oh, I really want an Astero. I really want to win. I hope Dragon wins, because if Dragon wins, I can get it myself. I don't think that counts,
Dragon
does it?
won enough.
She's
No.
won once.
I'm laying down the law. Dragon, you out.
Do you know she was one of the first people to X up about the volunteering to FC on Saturday night? Typical female. Typical female right there. Superlord, there's a video not playing is because we're looking at the free ship thing at the moment for the giveaway at the end. Any more questions, folks? Keep typing the questions in the chat. They won't get in the way of your roly madoodle. Alright, so first one's up. It's Dezenak, however you pronounce it. And I know you're in the podcast channel because I've seen you. At least I think I've seen you in the podcast channel. So, and you're following us, that's good. So I'll send you the message after the stream, and I've seen you posting, so it's all good.
Don't forget, guys, if you want to be eligible for the ship giveaway, you need to be following the channel. We do these every week, every Wednesday, same time, same place.
Yep, and all you need to do is follow the channel and tune in the whole way around, and you get your ship. So, Des or Nak, say hi, but I'll send you a mail anyway, because, yeah.
Sounds excited.
So we've re-rolled, and it's Ironic Object, or I know who you are, because you've any drone boats. I think the Worm's the only drone boat for you, Des. Ironic Object, you're in my alliance, so you can get a hold of me pretty quickly, but I'll send you a mail anyway, because I'm nice like that, just to confirm things and keep it all under our meals, so we have it all. You see more tabs opening up here. They're going to be complaining about the number of tabs. If anyone hasn't put it in yet, free ship.
That is a lot of tabs, though, dude.
It is a lot of tabs. It's not really. That's the thing. That is my tabs tidied up to what I absolutely need. Oh, Astero's a drone boat as well. Of course, Astero's a drone boat. So we're going to roll for the so Ironic Object, expect a meal. Ironic Object, expect a meal. And we're rolling for number 3 now. Space Squid! Yay! Definitely a Caldari player.
Squid!
Do we know who he is? Do we know him? I don't know him this time. So we'll send you a message as well of Space Squid, and it's any pirate frigate, of course. Harand, you're getting in there. Good job, you'll be in there for the last one.
So I don't know if this question was asked or it was asked earlier, but how can you get into the Ganked 100? Or RVB Ganked? Like...
How do you mean? Join in with our fleet? Simply just be in our channel, except when we start our form up, and we're starting a couple of hours before. We're starting around 1800 our form up.
Okay.
It's just as simple as that.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people out there possibly want to join, but don't know the way.
Yeah, it really is as simple as just being the RVB Ganked channel in-game and X up on Saturday when we start the form-ups and go from there. I mean, RVBers will get into fleet through fleet adverts. Friends of mine, I'll just drag and drop, and we'll just take X's for everyone else. And then when that fleet's full, we'll obviously start the next one and keep going. I mean, at the Flight of 1,000 Rifters on Eve's 10th birthday last year, we ended up with we had a max fleet going plus a secondary fleet that had something like 100 people in it at peak, and we had people split between both on different comms, so I was technically FCing 2 fleets for a while.
That's a skill right there. Skill. I have
yeah,
FC
and one of
from
them
Logi.
wasn't even in the Rifters system. It was next door because they couldn't get in.
I've FC'd from Logi before. That was hard enough. FCing 2 fleets at once. Yeah, let's not try that. So we'll do the last roll here. Okay, so Gratz, Space Squid, Ironic, and Dizernak so far. Oh my goodness, Jesus, you are one jammy git. 2 weeks in a row, not bad mate, not bad mate. You got your Thrasher back after all. I'm gonna hear about that later. So, because Space Squid's asking again, a reminder to Cheeses, Space Squid, Ironic, and Dizernak, who won a free pirate frigate, so a Astero, Worm, Daredevil, Cure, Dramiel, I think that's it. I think I'm missing one. Succubus, no one wants one of them. And it's a choice of them.
Spiky.
So I'll send you all a mail. Cheeses, yeah. I think I've worked out who you are by now, so I'll just combo you again in the chat. Jammy Bucker, isn't he? 2 weeks in a row. He wanted a crew hour last week. Like, really? People fly those? No, Jesus, it's fine. I'm not rolling again. You're perfectly entitled to. You pinged it in Gal Mill chat. That's enough for me. Well, thank you, Mangala, for joining us tonight. It's been awesome having you on.
Yeah, it's been great. Thank you.
and I look forward to hearing your FCing and hopefully not FCing myself on Saturday.
You dropped yourself in it when you said that, you know. But yeah, really, I'm looking forward to the weekend. It's going to be insane. I mean, for anyone that went to the last CCP player event, it's just going to be kind of like that, just, you know, bigger and less gate campy.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna, yeah, because of course we're not going to be in a gate, hopefully. So, everyone, follow the podcast, follow us on Twitter. The details of that is all below the stream. You just click the link and it'll take us to it. Click the big Twitter icon, it'll take you to our Twitter page. You follow us, we'll post out battle reports, we post out videos, we tweet back and forth with some of the people in faction warfare. Stay posted as well. Our website will be up by the weekend. Yeah, there's no message yet because I can't type and talk at the same time, unfortunately. And if you join our AGI podcast channel in game, you can chat to us there throughout the week, and any information on how to get in touch with us and how to donate if anyone wants to donate to us, which are of course all appreciated, and that goes back out in prizes, is all in that channel there. So I guess that's it from us, so goodbye from me.
I'm all set. Can't wait to see you guys next week, and it was a pleasure to have you on tonight, man.
Yeah, it was great. Thank you. Really enjoyed myself.
How could I forget? Guess who's on next week?
CO4.
It's Sir Squeebles himself is joining us next week. So Sir Squeebles is joining us next week for the podcast.
Yeah, it should be a great show.
Usually I send out a list of, is there anything you want to talk about? And she says, nah, whatever you want. You know, send us a few questions. Squeebles actually wrote back a list of stuff to talk about. Well, I'm definitely not booking 2 guests next week because we ain't gonna have time.
Yeah, I do have a question for him, and you have to ask him this on air next week. Ask him what it was like. Well, what it's like to know that he was separated from birth with CCP Rise.
Will do. Mail that to me, and I'll remember it. Okay. Those who want.
I will.
Oh, Sir Squeebles is watching. I forgot about that. Okay, so he's heard the question now.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't do that on purpose.
So we'll see you all next week, folks. Those who've got the prizes, I have your names. You will get a message from me in the next 5 or 10 minutes, okay? Because it's easy enough, so I type it out once and copy and paste it and send it to you all. Reply with your in-game name exactly as it is in name, and I'll get in touch with you inside the next 10 minutes or so, alright? So that's it. Thank you, folks, and I'll see you all later.